Every man who has been in a relationship knows this moment. She's getting ready to leave. Maybe she says she's going out with friends. Maybe she says she's going to run an errand. Or maybe she simply tells you she'll be back later. On the surface, nothing seems strange. She's dressed, she's preparing. She gives you a smile, and everything looks normal. But deep inside, you feel it. A little twinge of doubt. Something doesn't add up. And here's the brutal truth. Women often reveal their hidden intentions not with what they say, but with what they do right before they leave. That moment before the door closes is a window into her subconscious. She can craft the perfect excuse. She can polish the perfect words. But her action, the small signals, the nervous tics, the subtle rituals, those give her away. And if you don't notice them, you'll never see the betrayal coming. This video isn't about making you paranoid. It's about waking you up to the reality that women have layers of behavior that most men never learn to decode. Men take words at face value, but women live in the realm of indirect communication. And when she's hiding something and when she's not going where she told you, her body, her behavior, her tiny changes before leaving will scream the truth. Today we're going to dissect these hidden signs in depth. You'll understand why women do it, how psychology explains these last-minute signals, and most importantly, how to spot the difference between innocent behavior and a red flag that she's deceiving you. By the end of this, you won't just watch her leave, you'll read her before she leaves. Part 1. The psychology of her leaving ritual. Every person has a ritual before leaving the house. Grab the keys, check the phone, fix the mirror, put on shoes. But when it comes to women, especially when she's hiding something, this ritual becomes loaded with meaning. What looks like simple preparation may in fact be a psychological masking process. Think about it this way. When she tells you she's going to see a friend, but she's actually going somewhere else, her brain has to juggle two realities. The one she told you, the cover story, and the one she's actually living. This creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding two conflicting truths at once. Humans hate this feeling, and to cope with it, we unconsciously create little behaviors to balance the stress. For women, this often shows up in last-minute rituals before leaving. She may suddenly spend more time in front of the mirror than usual. She may touch up makeup that doesn't need touching. She may become unusually quiet or in the opposite extreme, unusually chatty. These aren't random quirks. They're pressure valves for the anxiety of deception. And here's the cruel twist. She knows you're watching her. So she also exaggerates some behaviors to make her lie more believable. For example, if she says she's just going out casually, but you see her carefully picking jewelry, perfume, or lingerie, you need to ask yourself, is this preparation for a girl's night out? Or is this preparation for something more intimate? Another psychological point. Women often test men during these leaving rituals. She might drop a casual statement like, "Don't wait up," or "You trust me, right?" These aren't innocent words. They're probes. She's checking if you'll challenge her, if you'll notice the inconsistency, if you'll assert your frame. Many men fail this test because they're too afraid of appearing controlling. But by staying silent, you give her permission to deceive. Let's also consider body language. If she's excited about where she's really going, her energy will betray her. Her steps will be quicker, her eyes will sparkle, her breathing will be lighter. Contrast that with her words. Maybe she claims she's just running an errand. Do you see the mismatch? Her body tells you she's preparing for a reward, not a chore. And part 2, the hidden signals she can't control. Words are rehearsed, excuses are prepared, but the body has a way of betraying the truth, especially under the pressure of a lie. Before she leaves, if she's not going where she told you, her subconscious will send signals that she doesn't even realize she's giving. One of the first signals is time awareness. When someone is about to lie about their destination, they often act rushed or overly conscious of the clock. Notice if she keeps checking her phone for the time or if she hurries you along, saying things like, "I really need to go now." On the surface, this may look like urgency, but it's often because she knows someone is waiting. Not the person she told you about, but the real destination. Another major tell is over-explanation. If she's truly going where she says, she doesn't need to add detail, but a lying woman will often throw in unnecessary information. "I'm going to see my friend, you know, the one who just got a new job. She lives near that." coffee shop we went to last month. This is called narrative padding, giving too much context to make the lie seem real. Men often mistake this for openness, but in psychology, it's actually a sign of insecurity in her story. Then comes the appearance shift. Watch closely. Does the level of effort in her outfit match the excuse? If she claims she's meeting a female friend for a casual coffee but suddenly dresses in her best jeans, heels, or lipstick, that's a mismatch. Women don't put effort into appearance without reason. They are highly aware of how they present themselves, especially to men. If her effort exceeds the occasion she describes, the truth is simple. She's not dressing for who she told you. She's dressing for someone else. A subtler but powerful signal is avoidance of intimacy before leaving. A woman who is hiding something often withdraws physically. She might avoid kissing you on the lips, avoid eye contact, or give you a quick, distracted hug. Why? Because she feels guilty. Touch and intimacy trigger guilt when someone is being deceptive. And instead of revealing her guilt through affection, she reduces physical connection. Part 3. The change in her energy before leaving. Energy never lies. People can control words. They can manipulate explanations. They can even plan out excuses weeks in advance. But energy is almost impossible to fake. And when it comes to women, their energy before leaving often tells the real story more than anything else. You've probably noticed it before. On some days when she's genuinely going out for something normal, her energy is neutral. She leaves the house in a calm, ordinary mood. She might be a little distracted, but she's consistent. However, when she's hiding something, when her destination doesn't match her words, her entire aura shifts. Psychologists call this the emotional leakage effect. When someone is trying to suppress an emotion, whether it's excitement, guilt, or fear, the suppressed energy leaks out in subtle ways. For a woman, this can mean a sudden burst of cheerfulness, as if she's too excited for where she claims she's going. Or it can mean sudden irritability, snapping at small things, because the pressure of hiding the truth is making her unstable. Pay attention to her tone of voice. Is she speaking faster than usual or avoiding her normal warmth? A lying woman often changes her rhythm. Some become overly sweet, thinking this will distract you, while others go cold, hoping to shut down any questions. Neither is random. It's energy distortion, and it always happens when she's holding back the truth. Another major red flag is what I call the disconnect between presence and absence. Before leaving, a woman who is hiding something will seem already gone. Even though she's physically there, mentally she's elsewhere. You ask her something, and she gives half answers. You make a joke, and she doesn't laugh like she normally would. Why? Because her thoughts are on her real plan, her real destination, the person she's actually going to see. Now here's where it gets darker. Women often feel a sense of thrill when they're being deceptive. The secrecy excites them. So if you sense a strange, almost playful energy in her right before leaving, like she's glowing with some private amusement, don't mistake it for simple happiness. That hidden glow is often the adrenaline of getting away with something. It's the thrill of secrecy, not joy from her supposed plans. Part 4. The little lies hidden in her timing. Timing is one of the biggest giveaways in female deception. Before she leaves, if she's not being honest about where she's going, her relationship with time changes in ways that are impossible to hide. First, notice the preparation time. If she claims she's going somewhere casual, like grabbing groceries or visiting a female friend, but suddenly takes much longer to get ready, that's a signal. Women don't accidentally overdress. The more effort she puts into her preparation, the more significant the true destination. Second, watch for departure delays or sudden urgency. If she lingers longer than necessary before leaving, it often means she's waiting for the right timing. Perhaps someone else isn't ready yet, or she doesn't want to arrive too early. On the other hand, if she's rushing in an unusual way, it could be because she's late for something important that she didn't tell you about. Timing shifts always indicate hidden pressure. Now consider her return timing. A woman who is lying about her destination will often be vague about when she'll come back. She might say, "I'll be back later," or "I'm not sure when I'll be done." Why? Because lies are easier when they aren't tied to a strict schedule. The more flexible the excuse, the safer she feels from being caught. One of the most powerful tells is the reaction to questions about timing. If you casually ask, "When will you be home?" and she bristles, fumbles, or gives you a vague response, it's because she doesn't want to commit. Innocent plans come with natural timelines. Deceptive plans come with uncertainty because she doesn't want to be pinned down. Another key is synchronization with her phone. If she keeps checking her phone for updates or suddenly grows nervous about a notification before leaving, it means her departure timing is connected to someone else's schedule. This is rarely the case with normal, honest outings. It usually means she's coordinating with someone she doesn't want you to know about. Part 5. The objects she takes with her. One of the most overlooked signs before a woman leaves is what she decides to take with her. Men often dismiss this as trivial, but in reality, the objects she carries are silent confessions of her true intentions. Let's start with the obvious: makeup and perfume. If she says she's just running errands or meeting a female friend casually, but she takes extra makeup in her bag or sprays an expensive perfume, that's a clue. Women don't over-prepare for nothing. Makeup and perfume are signals of expectation of being seen, noticed, or desired. Now consider her choice of clothing backup. If she leaves the house in one outfit but secretly packs another, it's almost always a sign of hidden plans. Maybe she's dressed casually when she leaves you, but in her bag she has something more revealing or elegant. This is deception through wardrobe, showing you one version while hiding the reality in her bag. Another revealing factor is lingerie and accessories. A woman doesn't need new lingerie for errands. She doesn't need carefully selected jewelry for a quick meetup. When her objects don't align with her excuse, the truth is simple: she's preparing for someone else. There's also the psychological detail of overpacking small items. A guilty woman often carries more than she needs because subconsciously she's preparing for unpredictability. She doesn't know exactly how the night will unfold, so she takes items just in case. Men often think this is just women being women, but the truth is, it's preparation for a situation you weren't told about. Pay special attention to phone behavior before she leaves. Does she double-check her battery, take a charger, or seem nervous about notifications? That phone is her lifeline to the real plan. If she's more concerned than usual about keeping it ready, it's because she expects important communication that doesn't match the story she gave you. Part 6. Her last-minute words before leaving. Men often underestimate the importance of the last words a woman says before leaving. But those final sentences, the little phrases, the small remarks, the throwaway lines are often the most revealing. Why? Because in that moment, she is balancing guilt, anxiety, and secrecy. And under that pressure, her subconscious leaks through her choice of words. One of the most common giveaways is what psychologists call preemptive justification. She may throw out a line like, "Don't wait up for me, I might be late," or "You trust me, right?" These aren't casual remarks, they are defensive maneuvers. A woman who is innocent doesn't need to remind you to trust her. She doesn't need to plant excuses before she even leaves. These remarks are her way of softening the suspicion she feels in herself, hoping you'll accept the story without question. Another revealing pattern is overthanking or over-explaining. She may say things like, "Thanks for letting me go out," "You're the best," or give long, unnecessary details about who she's supposedly meeting. That isn't affection, it's guilt trying to disguise itself as appreciation. And men who are too eager for validation often mistake this for love, when in reality it's the language of deception. Then there are deflections disguised as humor. A woman who feels the weight of hiding something might make a joke before leaving. She might laugh nervously and say, "Don't get into trouble while I'm gone," or "Don't miss me too much." These aren't innocent jokes. They're ways to redirect the tension, to fill the silence with something that sounds normal, so you don't notice the shift. Part 7. The doorway test. Reading her exit. The final and most powerful moment comes in what I call the doorway test, the last seconds before she steps out. This is the moment of highest tension because she's about to cross from the world of her lie into the world of her truth. And no matter how skilled she is at hiding, this threshold always reveals something. Watch her body language as she reaches the door. Does she hesitate for a moment? Almost like she's waiting for you to say something? That hesitation is her subconscious begging for detection. She knows she's crossing into a lie, and part of her is afraid you'll notice. Notice her eye contact. A woman who is honest leaves with ease. She can look at you, smile, and walk away naturally. A woman who is hiding something often avoids your eyes in those final seconds. Or, strangely, she might do the opposite. Hold eye contact for longer than usual, as if to convince you of her innocence. Both extremes are unnatural and both are red flags. Pay attention to her pace of exit. If she rushes out quickly, almost escaping, it's because she doesn't want to linger under your observation. If she lingers too long, fumbling with keys or repeating goodbyes, it may be because she feels guilty and is unconsciously stalling. Both rushing and stalling are signs of internal conflict. Then comes the phone signal. Many women, right after stepping out, immediately check their phone, reply to a message, or even call someone. That first action outside is critical. Who she contacts instantly is usually the person connected to her true destination. If you've ever seen her step outside, grab her phone, and suddenly change her demeanor, you just witnessed the real story unfold, the brutal truth about female deception. By now you've seen how the signs line up. The rituals, the energy, the timing, the objects she carries, the last words, the doorway test. All of these are not random behaviors. They are a pattern. And once you learn the pattern, you can never unsee it again. Here's the brutal truth. When a woman isn't going where she told you, she reveals it before she even leaves. The deception doesn't start at the destination. It starts in your own home, in front of your eyes. Most men miss it because they're blinded by trust, or worse, by fear of confronting reality. They choose comfort over clarity. But comfort doesn't protect you. Awareness does. This doesn't mean you should interrogate her every time she leaves. That only makes you insecure and weak. The point is not to control her. The point is to control yourself. To see the truth clearly without denial. To recognize when her actions don't match her words. And to have the strength to respond with dignity instead of desperation. Remember this. A woman who respects you doesn't need to hide her destination. Her words and her actions align. When they don't, you have two choices. Ignore the signs and live in illusions, or see the truth and act accordingly. The female psyche is complex, layered with secrets and indirect signals. But once you learn to read her before she leaves, you'll no longer be the man left in the dark. You'll be the man who sees through the mask. The man who cannot be fooled. The man who understands that in every little action, women reveal the truth they'll never say out loud. Because the harsh reality is this: the lie doesn't begin when she's gone. It begins the moment she says goodbye.